Stop halfway. Oh no.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No
shouting,
please.
That's pretty good, man. No. What is that?
Kiki, please, I'm on live. Reduce your voice.
Lemon.
Oh.
What's what the plus is for? Same.
Level 14. Oh no. Froggle. Selection. Madame. Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. You are the first. What's your name? The dude. A big shout out to the dude. Shout out to Boo. Sha. No, I think no, it was the dude that was the first. Yeah, I can see the comment section. So probably you didn't type on time. Yeah, probably you didn't put down your name on time. Yeah, but the dude on the comments is the first. Guys, as you come in, please let's go like. And if you have not subscribed, please let's subscribe, like, and sub. Let's start. A big shout out to the dude. I watch your live before. Really? That's good. A big shout out to Busha. Then I'll pick randomly now. A big shout out to No. Big shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Jacob. A big shout out to Cake. Shout out to Zion. Let's go. A big shout out to Ruby. Give me now, Jeremy. A big shout out to Jude. Let's go. A big shout out to Zoya. Let's go. A big shout out to Adi. A big shout out to Simi. Shout out to Shivani. A big shout out to Victoria. A big shout out to Eliska. Shout out to Yi Penge. Shout out to Lily. Guys, let's go. Let's go like and sub. Let's go. A big shout out to Kayla. A big shout out to Ollie. A big shout out to Rady. Shout out to Zoe. Guys, let's take the like up to 10. And please, let's subscribe. Please put your names on the comment section back to back. A big shout out to Adam. Put your name on the comment section back to back. Let's go. A big shout out to painting. Yeah, a big shout out to Goku. Let's go. A big shout out to Adela. Shout out to Wilma. A big shout out to Linda. Shout out to Scott. A big shout out to Josie. Let's go, let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Sad. Shout out to Laviana. Shout out to Warisha. Guys, let's go. Put your name on the comment section. I give you a shout out. Don't forget to like and sub. Let's go. Let's get cracky. Yeah. A big shout out to Josie. Big shout out to Brain. Big shout out to Life. Big shout out to Katali. Shout out to Heaven. A big shout out to... Oh, no worries. A big shout out to Michael. Guys, let's go, 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 go. Can we take the like up to 15? And put your name on the comment section back to back. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Drop your name on the comment section, okay? Let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Ariana. A big shout out to Iggy. Shout out to Ariana. You're back. Yes, I'm back, darling. A big shout out to Hallie. A big shout out to Lizzie. Big shout out to Rosa, all the way from Japan. Nice to meet you. Let's go like and sub and put your name on the comment section back to back. A big shout out to Massey. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to Fatima. A big shout out to Annie. A big shout out to Aling. Shout out to Yip Yang. Yup Yang. A big shout out to Aline. Shout out to Kat. A big shout out to Josie. Shout out to Raman, all the way from Africa. Nice to meet you, Raman. Let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Scarlett. A big shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Emily. A big shout out to White Dog Live. Shout out to Trudy. A big shout out to Zanita. Shout out to Addie. A big shout out to Avery. A big shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Kenzie. A big I love you too. A big shout out to Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. Hope you are good. A big shout out to Lamb. Someone said slowly. A big shout out to Olivia. I should go slowly. All right. A big shout out to Ariana. I love you too. A big shout out to Olivia. Let's go. A big shout out to Andy. A big shout out to Oakley. Shout out to Shekina. A big shout out to Owen. Shout out to Aaron. A big shout out to Belly. Shout out to Ria. I love you too. A big shout out to Lamb. A big shout out to Chaz. Shout out to Zoe. A big shout out to Easton. A big shout out to Chaz. A big shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Bella. A big shout out to Joanna. Guys, let's go. Put your name on the comment section. Let's go, 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 go. A big shout out to Emari. A big shout out to Haley. Big shout out to Valen. Hi, darling. Please, let's go like and sub. Let's go, 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 go. Shout out to Ivory. You're pretty. Thank you so much, gorgeous. A big shout out to Lee. A big shout out to Opal and Taylor. Let's go, guys. A big shout out to Ethan. A big shout out to Madison. A big shout out to Poppy. Guys, let's go, go. Hi, Brankika. A big shout out to Benny's. A big shout out to Olivia. If I use this hand. A big shout out to Anna.
You can't just go in.
A big shout out to you, man. Let's go. A big shout out to Cash. Guys, let's go. A big shout out to Bella. A big shout out to your lovely friend, Sammy. Sammy's Leshon Baba Bobovo. That's a lot of names. A big shout out to Sarah Grace. A big shout out to Elena. A big shout out to Marcy. Shout out to Mary. A big shout out to Christian. A big shout out to Period. A big shout out to Eliana. Guys, let's go like and sub. Let's take the like up to 20. And please, let's subscribe. 2 seconds. Yeah, we are done. Like and sub, guys. Let's go. Let's go. And drop your names on the comment section back to back. I give you a shout out. Let's go, guys. A big shout out to Silky. A big shout out to Wida and Leave. A big shout out to London. Shout out to Maria. A big shout out to Viviane. Shout out to Ode. A big shout out to Neva. Shout out to Malika. A big shout out to Eliora. A big shout out to Isaac and Zeef and Maha. Nice to meet you. Please go like and sub. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Malika. Shout out to Grace Jones. Shout out to Saria. A big shout out to Alice. A big shout out to Period. Clock it. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Savannah. A big shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Urina. A big shout out to Isaac and Maha. Zaf. A big shout out to Allison. Shout out to Sahara. A big shout out to your cat. A big shout out to Lana. Hi, Lana. Guys, let's go like and sub. Let's go. A big shout out to Divine Sim. A big shout out to Grace. Shout out to Rahia. A big shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Hayes. Shout out to Eliora. A big shout out to... You're welcome, darling. You're welcome. Please drop your names on the comment section back to back. I'll give you a shout. Okay, let's go. Please, your names on the comment section. Let's go. A big shout out to Mary. Shout out to Marcy. A big shout out to Period. Shout out to Divine. Shout out to Nat. A big shout out to Benno and Eva. Clock it. A big shout out to Aya. Shout out to Neela. A big shout out to Walk. Yesterday was my twin's brother's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your twinnie. A big shout out to Lolo. Let's go. Thank you, Lolo. A big shout out to Sana. You guys are welcome. Can we please like and subscribe? I love you all. Thank you so much. Please, let's go like and sub. Thank you. Just 2 seconds. 2 seconds to like and sub is done. A big shout out to Irene. Hi, Amaka. Nice to meet you. Yeah, a big shout out to Kitty. Shout out to Eva Lola. I like your hair. Thank you, gorgeous. Shout out to Poppy. A big shout out to Bella. Shout out to Bomika. Bomika Ambala. Let's go. A big shout out to Caleb. A big shout out to Sanya. I just subbed. Thank you so much, Amaka. Thank you. A big shout out to Leo. Shout out to Paulina. A big shout out to Michael. I just liked to you. Thank you so much. Please go subscribe as well. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Azel. A big shout out to Aya. Shout out to Nahimia. Shout out to Leila. A big shout out to Iris. Shout out to Kefiwe. A big shout out to Grace May. A big shout out to Azel. A big shout out to Layan Lee. A big shout out to Cody. A big shout out to Rowan. A big shout out to Lara. A big shout out to Jenda. Shout out to Bomaika. Guys, drop your names on the comment section back to back, back to back. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will give you a shout out. Okay, can we take the like up to 35? And please, let's subscribe. Yeah, I love you all. Your name on the comment section, guys. Let's go. A big shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Sarah. A big shout out to Lily. A big shout out to Zara. Shout out to Lee. A big shout out to Kahiro. Shout out to Bella. A big shout out to Didi. A big shout out to Isabella. Pretty names. Gorgeous. Absolutely. A big shout out to Antoinette. A big shout out to FS. A big shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Rosanna. A big shout out to Sarah. Sarah, I love you too. Thank you so much. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Ollie. A big shout out to Carolina. Shout out to Chloe. A big shout out to Rosie. A big shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Esther. A big shout out to Camila. A big shout out to Rowan. Shout out to Mahura. Shout out to Quinda. Hi, Quinda. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you guys for the likes. Can we please take it up to 45? Thank you, gorgeous. Let's like and subscribe. A big shout out to Mimi. Hi, Mimi. Shout out to Lily. A big shout out to Esther. A big shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Ishao. Hi, Ishao. Shout out to Zena. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Zena. A big shout out to Freya. Shout out to Adriana. Shout out to Sophia. A big shout out to Lily. A big shout out to Davion. A big shout out to Alexi. Shout out to Fekashit. Pretty names. A big shout out to Evo4Y. Let's go. A big shout out to Lou. Shout out to Bomika. Thanks from Bomika. Bomika, you're welcome. You speak Spanish. Do I? How do I say? How are you in Spanish? No, I don't speak Spanish. But I think someone has taught me and I've forgotten. So you can teach me how to say how are you. A big shout out to Olivia. A big shout out to Hamba. Shout out to Ivory. A big shout out to Bracing. A big shout out to Loved. A big shout out to my friend here. Wow, that's lovely. A big shout out to your lovely friends, Madison, Luciana, and Susanna. Clock it, friends. Nice to meet ya. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. I love you all. A big shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Bracing. Please, let's put our names on the comment section. But don't forget to like. Let's take the like up to 55. And please, let's subscribe. Today is my birthday. Can you sing? What's your name? Yeah. Put down your name. I will sing for you. Trust me. I have 2 names here already. Yeah. A big shout out to Freya, but I won't sing now till when I'm ready. A big shout out to Mingle. A big shout out to Mommy. A big shout out to Jocelyn. Shout out to Sophia. A big shout out to Kali. A big shout out to Relieve. Yeah, please put the name of your name, please. Is it Zizi? A big shout out to Poppy. A big shout out to Skitu. A big shout out to Maria. A big shout out to Zizi. A big shout out to Mean or Mine. Nice to meet you, Ahmad. Nice to meet you. Please go like and subscribe, guys. Bless you all. A big shout out to Lena. Shout out to Marlena. Shout out to Olivia. Olivia's birthday is tomorrow. I'll be waiting for you here to sing for you. So let's wait till tomorrow. A big shout out to Angel. Clark it. A big shout out to Zena. Can you do a clock it? Yeah, clock it. Why not? A big shout out to Julian. A big shout out to Nina. Shout out to S. Mary. A big shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Chloe. It's Chloe's birthday. All right. Can I get a pen? Yeah, let me get a pen. Do you say Chloe? Okay. Yeah, a big shout out to Maxwell. So we'll sing later, okay? Not now. A big shout out to Sonny. A big shout out to Kat. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Boohie. A big shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Luciana. Susanna. Shout out to Celestia. No, Celestia. Shout out to Rose. I'm just trying to sound it the way I say it. I might sound it wrongly. Apologies. Yeah, you can as well teach me how to pronounce it. A big shout out to Dina and Sidra. Shout out to Zara. Let's go. I love your hair color. Thank you, gorgeous. Yes, I'm Nigerian. A big shout out to Shayna. A big shout out to Jasin. A big shout out to Ami. A big shout out to Alexa. A big shout out to Amber. Guys, let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. London is here. Hi, London. A big shout out to Liana. Shout out to Sis G. Shout out to Tian. I just hope I got the pronunciation. You can as well teach me how to sound it. Tell me how to sound it. A big shout out to Zane. A big shout out to Himi. Shout out to Brayley. I subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, Ella. Thank you, Ella. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Pablo. A big shout out to Ella. A big shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Amanda. A big shout out to Shannon. A big shout out to Trican. A big shout out to Daniela. Beautiful girl. Oh, gorgeous girl. You're gorgeous as well. Thank you. A big shout out to Stanley. Shout out to Evelyn. A big shout out to Safiyu. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Celestia. A big shout out to Megan. A big shout out to Wines. A big shout out to Ashani. Shout out to Isabella. A big shout out to Rayleigh. Shout out to Suta. A big shout out to Jimmy. Guys, can we take the like up to 65? Please, let's take the like up to 65 and please let's sub. Let's like and sub just for 2 seconds, please. Let's go. Then you go back to the comment section and put your name down. Yeah, please let's like and sub. Then you put your name on the comment section. Let's go. Thank you so much, gorgeous. I want to appreciate those that have been supporting me back to back. I see you, I know you, and I love you. Okay? They've been supporting me on my videos, watching my videos, coming to the live stream back to back. They have even, yeah, they have even, yeah, they have even turned on their notification bell. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, my lovelies. Please, let's go like. Let's take the like up to 70. Oh, the like is going up. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Let's take the like up to 75 and let's subscribe. Wow. I didn't even see it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Drop your names on the comment section. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Floren. A big shout out to Felipe. A big shout out to Lee. A big shout out to Rogan. A big shout out to Elsa. Shout out to Ridgely. A big shout out to Maya. A big shout out to Kat. Hi, darling. A big shout out to Ali. Shout out to Fossey. A big shout out to Malishi. No. Malashi. Yeah. A big shout out to Annabella. You know, we have a lot of names here all over the world. So, yeah, I need to sound it the way I see it for now. Bear with me, my lovelies. A big shout out to Kat. A big shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Grace. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Riyam. A big shout out to Good. A big shout out to Lewis. Shout out to Fossey. Shout out to Malcolm. Shout out to Ridley and Kuta. Greetings and sending love from Easter in Eastland. Oh, nice to meet you. Yeah, sending love and hugs to you from UK here. Yeah, because I'm in the UK, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Can you like and subscribe, guys? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the likes. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. A big shout out to girls. Shout out to Patricia, I guess. A big shout out to Tantom. A big shout out to, please put down your name, please. A big shout out to Maria. Shout out to Jasley. A big shout out to Aliyah. Shout out to Tantom. A big shout out to Alexandra Ropalis Sika Bompo. A big shout out to Sandra. That's one name. A big shout out to George. I thought I have a very long name, but I'm learning. Some people's name are far longer than mine. I have long name already also, but some names are, yeah, longer than mine. Respect. A big shout out to Josie. Shout out to Hamba. A big shout out to Skyly. A big shout out to Mihi. Please, if I've not called your name, please be patient with me. Just put your name out there as much as you can, okay? I will see it. When I see it, I say it. See it, say it, sorted. I think that's, yeah, when I entered the train. Yeah, see it, say it, sorted. Yeah, I love that. So put your name. I see it, I'll say it, and it's sorted, isn't it? A big shout out to Oni. Shout out to Jalkla Kamenchi. A big shout out to Amber. Shout out to Sonia. Shout out to Lizzie. Oh, loving your hair. A big shout out to Edward. Shout out to Lizzie. A big shout out to Ridley. Shout out to a lot. A big shout out to Talika. Shout out to Daniela. I'm from King Gaze Republic. Oh, nice to meet you. Where is I'm not well traveled, so I don't really know what continent is that. Kingsley Republic. If you can tell me, that will be fine. A big shout out to Sherry. A big shout out to Oni May. A big shout out to Ima. A big shout out to Suta. Shout out to Amber. A big shout out to Kobe. A big shout out to Elia. Shout out to Talika. A big shout out to Cluedate. Hi, Cluedate. Your name is so unique. That name, Cluedate, is unique. I think I've never called another Cluedate on this stream. Yeah, so that's a unique name. A big shout out to Ananana. You are so pretty. Thank you, Ada. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Ren. A big shout out to Maclay. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Dia. A big shout out to Nora. Shout out to Rainbow. Shout out to